And that's what it comes down to. More than just fatherlessness, we have started teaching children that there's no absolute right and wrong. What feels good is probably okay. We've got schools that are grooming children to be what our current laws say is sexual assault of a child, and it's going on publicly.
I acknowledge that there's no way you could tell from that clip, but that was part of a congressional meeting designed to find bipartisan solutions to stopping violence like at Uvalde. And of course, an idiot like Louis Gohmert turns it into a thing about the metaphysics of evil as well as teachers being pedophiles or something. It was pathetic in other ways too. Take a look at a bit of what Andy Biggs had to say.
Despite the title of the hearing today, there hasn't been an honest engagement in search for bipartisan solutions to gun violence, mostly because there's only one solution for my friends across the aisle. That is to emasculate the Second Amendment and remove guns from legal, lawful, and law-abiding citizens.
That is Andy Biggs telling you that if he was ever stripped of his guns, he would be, by his own definition, emasculated. He would have no other dangerous weapons to threaten anyone with. It's absolutely pathetic. It makes a mockery of what happened at Uvalde and the need to stop the next incident like that. Well, I have a feeling that we're all gonna be fired up about this, but I wanna get it teed off with Representative Madeline Dean, who wasn't having any of that nonsense.
In the face of such loss, in the face of something that is man-made and therefore could be man-solved, you are hearing that the root cause of massacres across this country, like no other industrialized country suffers, is evil. It's mental illness. We need more paddles and prayers. There's too many single moms raising children. Really? Do we have greater evil here? Do we have greater mental illness here? We heard testimony of a headless child. We're going to talk about paddles and prayers might solve this problem?
No.
Where have we lost our humanity? Early on in this testimony, you heard from the ranking member. His focus, his worry is that we are trying to emasculate the Second Amendment. My, oh my, to deprive a man of his male role or identity. May not anyone's masculinity be connected to slaughter of children in our country.
No, that's right.
Powerful.
Yes, I mean, yes.
Great work there, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't understand, there's so many great things I want to talk about here, including evil. So emasculating the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is not a person, it's not a man, it can't be emasculated. So I'm not quite sure what he's getting at. It seems like he means without the Second Amendment, I would be emasculated. And Andy Biggs, if that's your definition of a man, ironically, you're not much of a man, okay? You guys are always talking about what's a man, what's a woman, oh, I know. And he's like, without a gun, I'm not a man at all. Okay, well, that's at least accurate. So, look, there are two sides in this Uvalde shooting hearings. The Democrats were concerned, hey, AR-15s are just ripping through the kids. One of them couldn't be identified because his head was literally blown off. That's how powerful one of those bullets are, right? And talking about kids bleeding to death from all these guns. And the Republicans come in and they go, no, don't believe your lying eyes. This has nothing to do with guns. How could it have nothing to do with guns when the weapons are the ones that murdered the kids? It's like we're having a meeting about, like there was a massacre done with a sword, right? And the Republicans are coming and going, no, it's not swords. Swords are not the problem, okay? But that's the thing that killed everyone, okay? So hold on though, this is amazing because Louis Gohmert is an idiot, and we're gonna get back to his groomer comments, which are just hilarious and ridiculous and absurd and dangerous. But Andy Biggs, I watched his whole thing, okay? And he went on and about two things, and Madeline Dean mentioned those two within her speech. But his primary focus was evil and single mothers. And he himself gave a stat about how gun violence in America is 25 times worse than anywhere else, okay? So are we 25 times more evil? Think about it, guys. Really? We're like the most evil nation on earth, and Republicans think that? Huh. Well, why don't you just say it? Why don't you say it then? So, oh, America's so goddamn evil. Apparently that's what Republicans think. We have 25 times the number of single mothers as anybody else. No, of course that's not true. But you know what we do have 25 times more? Guns. So thank you for making our case for us. But if you really think that it was evil and Dumbledore and Loki and Thanos, okay, point counterpoint.
I mean, just the heartless nature. This was supposed to be about what happened to those children in Uvalde and the teachers, and they turned this into some religious fest. What would God do? None of the stuff that they talking about. You know, God would, I mean, at least the God that I serve would care that these children were massacred in this way. And I'm really sick and tired of Republicans using God as an excuse, because that's what they're doing. They need to stop riding the back of God, because they are indeed the problem. And then my last point on this is that they always treat the Second Amendment as if it is absolute. But they leave out all the other amendments, you know, all the other things that government is supposed to do, the common good, the welfare of all, you know, all of that kind of stuff. They leave that out. They worship the Second Amendment. They don't worship God. And I thought, especially if you're a Christian, that idols were a no-no, and guns are your damn idols.
Yeah. The amazing thing, my final point on this, the amazing thing about the Republican attempt to distract from regulating guns by coming up with an ever-increasing list of different things that are responsible for it. That's so amazing about it isn't just that it's an obvious deflection to protect gun manufacturers and gun owners, but that if you come out and say, we are uniquely evil and our kids don't have dads, so they're listless and directionless and they're angry and they're getting radicalized and they're all insane and it's not treated. So then my question to you would be, so then shouldn't they not be able to buy these guns like when they're 18 years old? And you say, no, they still should be able to. That's madness. You believe that we have a uniquely toxic upbringing of kids that turns them into the perfect murderer, and they should be legally allowed to buy weapons of war and then head on over to their school. That's madness.
It makes perfect sense to me.
And look, think about what John is saying. You guys are 100% right. If America is actually 25 times more evil than any other country, why are we letting everyone buy guns?
There it is.
That would seem to be very counterintuitive.
Yeah.
And so, and of course, just real quick to touch back on Louis Gohmert. You see what he's doing there? He's basically blaming gay people.
Yep.
He's saying, oh yeah, these teachers are, you know, especially the LGBTQ guys are groomers. Those are code words. Code words, it's actually not much of a code, but they blame teachers and people in the LGBTQ community for being groomers of kids, and then that's what's creating these evil schools. Were any of the shooters gay? No.
Hello.
None. Wait a minute. All the shooters were straight. Does that mean straight people are more evil? I'm using their logic, okay? Whatever little there is of it, okay? Do I think straight people are more evil? No, of course not. That's absurd, right?
Case could be made.
Yeah, but this son of a bitch, because he gets paid by gun manufacturers and is a crook, every Republican takes money from the NRA, takes money from gun manufacturers, and they're all crooks. It's not that they love for the politicians, it might be true for some voters, but for the politicians, it's not that they love their guns so much, it's that they love their money so much.
Yeah.
They're owner donors.
Yes, they're getting the money from the owner donors, which in this case are gun manufacturers.
That's right.
So they're going out there and blaming gay people instead of the guns that are actually killing people.
Yeah.
That's the kind of crooks and despicable and ironically evil people that those Republican politicians are.
Yeah.
There it is.
And one final bit of evil. Like I understand, obviously the vast majority of the people who died in Uvalde were children. That's generally how it is when America's hit by another needless school shooting. But remember that in that shooting and other shootings, teachers died. Teachers died literally shielding the bodies of kids, taking the bullets so the kids wouldn't have to.
That's right.
And Louis Gohmert comes in and says the teachers are groomers. They're trying to have sex with these kids. They're literally dying to protect these kids.
Yeah.
And Louis Gohmert won't even stand up to gun manufacturers to protect the kids.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.